Friends, I think everyone who plays World of Warcraft knows this clip. It's about Leeroy Jenkins. In the end, everything here revolved around the paladin sitting on the left, Leeroy, who became famous in a very special way. The whole thing really shaped World of Warcraft. However, I read that the whole thing was faked, and it's actually been known for almost 9 years now that it was faked, and I just didn't know about it, and my whole life is a lie. So we're going to take a look at this in this video. We'll cover everything there is to know about it. Feel free to leave a like and subscribe if you want to support me. Write in the comments if you knew about all this. And with that, let's go. So in the end, what we're seeing here is actually pretty simple. The people from the raid are standing around here together. Leeroy Jenkins is AFK. This is a classic raid, which is now a dungeon. And that should be the lower Blackrock Spire, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe I'm completely mixing it up right now. But in the end, it's that one room where there are dragon eggs on the floor, and when you walk in there, the little dragons spawn. What this group here is doing in the end is discussing how they want to approach the room and what they want to pull. But the whole thing doesn't go well for long because at some point Mr. Leeroy, who was AFK, comes back, and then this happens. Let's listen in.
Leeroy, that's much better than usual. Alright, chums, up, let's do this. Leeroy Jenkins, Leeroy. My god, he just ran in. Save him? Jeez, stick to the plan. Jeez, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Stick to the plan, guys. Stick to the plan. Jeez, fuck, give me my intervention. Hurry up. He's saying,
I
can't catch. I can't move. Am I lagging up? I can't move. What the hell? I can't aim. My god.
Yeah, in the end. I think we don't need to keep going over this so much now. You can see the whole thing. Leeroy comes back from his AFK break at some point, obviously hasn't been listening, and then just says, "Okay guys, let's do this," yells Leeroy Jenkins once, and off he goes. The whole thing actually created a very, very iconic meme. For example, with the introduction of Wrath of the Lich King, there was the achievement Leeroy. Help Leeroy Jenkins at the Upper Blackrock Spire on heroic difficulty to recover his devout shoulders. But this achievement used to be different before they reworked the dungeon. I think it was like this back then. In that dungeon, you had to kill a certain number of whelps, like destroy the eggs within a certain number of seconds or something like that. With the dungeon rework, Blizzard eventually changed the achievement, so yeah, that's how you got this Jenkins achievement. Leeroy Jenkins then became a character in many other games. In Hearthstone, there's a card of him. In the garrison of Warlords of Draenor, there was the possibility to unlock him as a companion, so the whole meme was really, really milked. It's important to clarify this to avoid misunderstanding. This meme was not staged by Blizzard. Yes, in my opinion, they acted completely normally and logically. If a scene from your game leads to so much fame, I would have taken advantage of it too. You have to be honest about that. And on the other hand, it's cool that they even included such a community event in the game. But that brings us to this video here, which was uploaded 8 years ago by Anafpel. Leeroy Jenkins' first take dry run. So in the end, they rehearsed the whole thing here. We can see everything looks super, super similar. Leeroy is sitting there. The people are standing in a circle doing their thing and chatting. But basically, as you can see here, Leeroy is sitting a bit further to the left during the rehearsal. Here he's sitting almost directly on the spot where these tiles intersect. So they're not exactly in the same spot as before. I never would have noticed that, but on closer inspection, at least with Leeroy, it's pretty obvious. The rest are actually positioned quite well. And accordingly, yeah, it says here that he uploaded this video. Apparently this had never been seen before, and he said he wanted to release the whole thing. Release it ultimately on the topic of net neutrality. That was apparently a movement back then that made a lot of headlines, and in the course of that, he uploaded it. We can see here now that
Does anybody need...
Not much is changing here either. People are still standing around and chatting. Let's just listen in here for a moment.
the fucking devout shoulders that drop off this guy, or can we pass it? I think Leeroy needs him. Isn't he a powering... He needs more intellect to heal better. Jesus, well, alright, I guess what we'll do... I'll freaking run in first. I'll gather up all the eggs so we can, you know, make this quick. I'll use my intimidating shout to scatter them so we won't have to fight many at once. When mine wears off, I'll say so, and, you know, Anthony, I'll need you to run in, drop your fear too, so we can keep them scattered. Once his is done, Bass will need to come in and do the same thing. Once that's done, we'll need to. Pallies, drop Divine Intervention on the mages, so they can just kind of AE without fears of getting slaughtered by all the billions of dragons swinging at them. I think it's a pretty good plan. Abdul, can you come give us a number? Crunch real quick, give us a probability chance here. Well, my calculations show that we have a high probability of survival. Finishing it, though, not so good. Okay, well, it's better than we usually do. Hey, I'm back, chums. Let's do this. Leeroy Jenkins, stick to the sew.
Roger.
Stick to the plan. Alright, I think point.
Alright,
I think
So we can see that from this. It's different in that way. Leeroy is sitting differently. We can also see that in the original clip, the guild chat is active. In this rehearsed one, it's not. And when he says, okay, let's do this, Leeroy Jenkins stands up and runs in there. However, the other players don't follow him and just laugh, and so on and so forth. And yeah, what can I say? Honestly, I'm disappointed at this point. I hadn't noticed it until now. And we can see here comes Leeroy running back in. So he didn't pull in this attempt. And what can I say? I just remember reading before that there were people who doubted the authenticity of this meme. But Leeroy Jenkins always insisted, no, it was real, it was all genuine, nothing was faked, and so on and so forth. But I think this video pretty clearly proves that it was actually faked. Simply, yeah, for anyone who still doesn't believe it, just the fact that he runs back in here and doesn't bring any mobs or anything else with him is extremely different from the other clip. That means before the viral clip was made, they had already gone through the whole thing, and the whole thing was something they staged. Why? Honestly, I have no idea. But yeah, even over 20 years ago, the rule was, don't trust everything you see on the internet. Even in World of Warcraft, things were being faked back then. That's really, really unfortunate. What do you think about it? Feel free to write it in the comments. See you in the next video. Have a good time and take care. Heck.